Good morning, everyone. This is Kyle Nelson, the Colorado Virtual Operations Support Team Training Coordinator, and I'd like to welcome you to the September 2016 edition of the COVOST training. Today we're going to be focusing on two topics in particular. We're going to be talking about the brand new and revised COVOST workbook, as well as a new procedure for screen capture, sharing, and archiving. But before we jump into that, I'd like to just give a shout out to everyone and thank you all for attending either live or if you're attending the recording after the fact. Hello to you as well, and thanks for joining us. Let's go ahead and jump into things. First things first, Mickey is attending remotely today, and she's participating only through the chat feature. I think she's at another training somewhere in southeast Colorado, so good morning, Mickey, and thanks for joining up with us remotely this morning. Another thing to note, if any of you that are viewing this recording, either live or later on, anyone, if you know of any good friends, colleagues, whomever, who would be a good fit for the team if they're social media savvy, they're on their game, and they really enjoy presenting and things, please do feel free to send Mickey an email with their contact info so that we can reach out to them. If they'd be interested in joining our team and contributing, we'd love to have them on board. Also, I'd like to put out a special request, a personal request to all of you, and ask for help filling out our team's training calendar. Yes, I am the training coordinator for the COVOST. However, I would like to stress and emphasize that this is our team. This is not Mickey's team. This is not my team. It's not the state's team. It's our team. Our members is what truly drives this, and our innovation and our ideas moving forward. So please, I do want to keep these trainings relevant. I want to keep them interesting, and I want to keep them engaging for all of you. So if you have any topics that you would like to either hear me present on, or topics you'd like to hear about, or of course if you have topics that you would like to present on as well and share your knowledge, your expertise and things, please do feel free to reach out to me via email, Twitter, Slack, however it is you choose to get a hold of me. Please do go ahead and do that and let me know, and I'd be happy to get you on the training calendar, or perhaps collaborate with you and go in with you on a future training for the team. And finally, I'd like to remind folks there is an assignment from the August 2016 Slack training, and if you are not familiar with the Slack platform, that's what we've shifted to now. I'll talk about that more in just a couple of seconds here. I do want to hit on the brand new training schedule, the new meeting schedule. We have a new day and time. We started this back in August, and we are continuing with it this month here in September, as well as moving forward into the future. We are now switched back to the third Friday of each month. Third Friday of each month at 9 a.m. Mountain Time is when we're going to be doing our monthly webinars and trainings here for the COVOST. So that means, following along with the schedule, we are going to be meeting again Friday, October 21st at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, where I will be presenting to you all on verifying and authenticating posts and photos. I'm super excited about this topic. It's one that it's near and dear to my heart, and I really think y'all are going to love it. So please make that on your calendars, mark that on your calendars, and look forward to joining you there coming up soon in October. So also, the November and December meetings canceled due to proximity to the holidays. So take that time, finish a couple of things up at work, or more importantly, be with your families, your loved ones, your friends, your colleagues and things, and take that November and December months off from any meetings. You've all earned it with all the great collaboration that we've done together here with the COVOST. So look forward to the first meeting of 2017 as well on January 20th at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. So put that on your calendars, and then we'll be sure to change that on the COVOST training calendar as well. So now jumping into our first brief topic here, a couple of Slack things I'd like to talk about. Just emphasizing that everyone should have received an email invitation from Mickey at the end of July. We will no longer be collaborating using Skype or GroupMe for collaboration during activations or notifications amongst the COVOST. And that email invitation that I just referred to, that was to join the Colorado Virtual Operations Support Team, or COVOST, C-O-V-O-S-T, Slack team. I encourage you all to do that straight away. Search your email inbox, search the archives, and pull up that email if you have not done so already. Please join the COVOST Slack group, and that is our new communication tool. That is what we will be using from this point forward for collaboration as well as for alerts and notifications. So that's replacing Skype, that is replacing GroupMe. So please go ahead and switch over to that platform. Otherwise, you will be missing out on important updates, announcements, and all the fun and excitement that goes on the COVOST Slack team and all the associated channels. Now, you can use that on desktop, you can use that on mobile. Today I will be showing you what the interface looks like very briefly on a Chromebook. If you'd like to learn more about Slack, how to configure it, all the behind the scenes, under the hood settings, all the front facing stuff, and all the excitement that comes with it, please refer back to the August 2016 training on the Colorado VOST or Colorado VOST YouTube channel. You can find our August 2016 training where we introduce the Slack platform. And finally, just a couple of channels to review on Slack. There's an activation room. That's replacing our Skype activation room. So our activation channel on Slack is what we're going to be using now during any activations. Alert-Notify. That channel there is going to be the channel that we use for any alerts or notifications, upcoming like meeting updates and things of that nature. So we'll talk about that again very briefly, but just one thing to note, please do not turn off any notifications for the Alert-Notify channel. You can modify notifications and alert settings for any of those individual channels in particular, but I ask that you please, please, please do not turn off notifications for the Alert-Notify channel on Slack, since that is the one that we will be using moving forward for any any announcements and alerts for the team. Of course, the for general discussion, help-Slack. That channel is for any Slack-related questions or help that's needed, and we will kind of crowdsource, or in this case, I suppose you could call it group sourcing, or team sourcing, if you want to get fancy with it, the information or any questions that you have regarding the Slack platform specifically, and of course, rounding out the random channel for random things, and the training channel, which is the one that we will be utilizing today for our activity coming up at the end of today's training, so look forward to that. That's a brief bit on Slack. Again, for the full story on that and for all the behind-the-scenes stuff and configuration and getting on board with that, go ahead and please refer to the August 2016 COVOST training on the Slack platform. So I'll scroll down here on the agenda, and I'd like to now introduce the brand new, newly revised COVOST default workbook. And I want to start just by saying that we have heard you, COVOST members, we have heard you. Mickey and I, we've heard you, your feedback that you've submitted and things, and you might be saying, well, okay, what's up with the new workbook? Why do we need to go to this? Well, it's very important that we take into account the feedback that we've received from our members. So all of you who have submitted feedback following activations in the After Action Review, or AAR tab of the workbook, that's where we got a majority of the changes and the updates that we made to the workbook here. So we have heard you. We do read those, we do review them, and it's so vital for you to share your candid feedback with us there. Also, the base version of the VOST workbook was updated from the Oregon VOST workbook, as well as some edits that were made specifically by Scott Reuter up there in the Oregon area. So a shout out to Oregon VOST and Scott. And of course, we do want to stay current and make the workbook experience enjoyable and easy to use for all of you, because that's one of our main tools where we're entering information, we're sharing information amongst folks, and where we're kind of putting things in as an archive and collaborating as a team. So we do want to make sure that that workbook platform for the COVOST is as much user-friendly as it can be, and is a new and current tool that it's incorporating all the feedback that you've given us. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that in just a couple of seconds, but I would be absolutely remiss if I did not acknowledge the wonderful efforts and give a big thank you to Mar, to Scott, to Mickey, as well as the Pacific Northwest VOST. You can see all their Twitter handles there. Give them a shout out and thank them for donating their time, their effort, their expertise to making a better VOST workbook, and of course allowing us to modify the version 4.0 of the VOST default workbook to kind of tweak it and put our own kind of Colorado VOST branding on it. So big thanks to all those folks there and all the others who have worked on it. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and switch tabs here in my browser, and we're going to jump into the COVOST default workbook. So once you bring that up, we're going to go ahead, and the first thing that you're going to see is the cover page. This is largely unchanged. Again, this is going to be the same throughout just about every event that we do. Just some general information about the COVOST in the right column. Left-hand side here, some workbooks and links to other key documents and such things. The event name will, of course, change with any particular incident or event that we are posting. And so what I'd like to do now is go tab by tab from left to right here along the bottom of the screen, starting here with the cover page, which is the first thing that you're going to come to. And then I'm going to start here with a brand new tab that we have up called Start Here Instructions. So that Start Here Instructions, what that's showing is just some kind of brief tips and tricks. Lessons learned in the past was that, you know, if some members perhaps have not worked with us in a while, perhaps you're a brand new member. If that is the case, welcome. We're excited to have you with us. Thanks for being part of the team. And we look forward to working with you on our next activation. And this is a little tab here that gives folks some tips and some suggested steps to get ready to get up and running for the next activation with the COVOST. So you see that first piece there before we start is the line there at the top. And so a couple of things: getting signed into your COVOST Slack account, providing the team leads, make sure that you have access to the Google Doc for the particular activation workbook that we're using, that activation specific workbook. And of course, then as we get into the getting started pages, this is as you're getting ready to sign in for your shift, you're getting spun up, perhaps say 10-15 minutes before your shift is scheduled to start, making sure that you're logging in the check-in, check-out tab. You can read all the bullet points here, but so, again, some suggested actions, making sure that we don't forget any critical or key steps when it comes to getting spun up. And then, of course, the common tasks here, about halfway down the page. This is just some suggested things that we might want to be doing or making sure that we are doing during our activations that we're working with folks, making sure we're collaborating and not duplicating efforts, etc. And just making sure that we are incorporating all of the things that we want to get done. But of course, this is just some guidance, some suggestions, and even for our veteran members, those have been with us perhaps since the start, those have been very active in our more recent activations and things. This is all just good information to know, to share, and to make sure that we're all operating at 110%, as of course we always do with our COVOST activations. So that's our Start Here Instructions tab. I'm going to go ahead and move on now to the Summary tab here at the bottom. And what that Summary tab is going to show us, this is for any of my fellow Incident Command System or ICS nerds, what this is showing us is kind of a compilation, a mashup, if you will, of the ICS 202, 203, and 204 forms. So our objectives, assignments, and assignment lists for those of you that operate in that realm. What we've done is kind of put this into a single tab instead of breaking this out individually. And so we've collaborated here. So at the top, kind of an internet name, any operational periods currently and in the future, and of course a link to, if there's an activation, or a link to the activation form for this specific activation, as well as any specific missions that the COVOST has been given by our on-scene liaison that we're working with for that host agency that is requesting our services. So all good information to kind of double check on and get spun up with. Now scroll down here just briefly. The next thing we're going to see is contacts, and contacts, those are key contacts for both our incident commander for that particular incident we are supporting, the lead public information officer there, the COVOST manager, so the person who is kind of overarchingly managing this, managing our team for this activation, and of course our local VOST liaison who is supporting us there locally. So all good things to have on there, ways to contact and get a hold of them. You'll see that contact info populate as soon as we get activated for that specific mission or activation. And then next thing down here, the next side-to-side gray, dark gray bar here, incident summary by op period. So what we like to do is at the end of each operational period or near the end of it, kind of all the members kind of collaborate, get together, and put together a brief operational period summary of key actions, key findings, things that they would like to both document that they have done, as well as any, again, key findings or things to make the next shift or future shifts aware of, just to make sure that we can share that information so that as folks are coming in, for example, one of the suggested items in the Start Here Instructions tab is review the not only the chatter in the Slack activation channel, but of course the link to the previous operational period incident summary so that you can make sure that you're 100% up to speed once you get on board with all of us for the following operational period. And finally, you'll see the resources that are assigned. Resources, and of course not to categorize or overly generalize here, but these are our members who are specifically assigned for those upcoming operational periods. And this is a brief point that I'd like to bring up. I'll revisit this again coming up later in the activity here at the end of the presentation of this training. And just thinking about for listing all of our members for each shift, would it be beneficial to have a team lead or someone to kind of coordinate and make sure that things are being coordinated fairly and effectively between all the members on a specific shift? So just keep that in mind. I'll ask for that feedback again at the end of this training here in the feedback portion and the activity portion there at the end. So that's what I'm looking for there. But this is a quick overview of all this information here. And finally, as we continue to scroll down, when we break out our specific missions, this is where they'll be broken out here as we scroll further down. And of course, this continues to go on. I'm not going to have time to delve super deep into all of this. I'd like to really encourage all of our members to review this document and review the new COVOST workbook in detail so that you can be familiar with it prior to our next activation, which currently we do not have any scheduled. And so we want to make sure that we're dialed up, dialed in on the new workbook format and the layout, so that we'll know where to find the information very readily. So that's a bit on the summary tab. I'd like to now shift over to the availability tab. This is one that you are familiar with. This has not changed much at all, I don't think, from the previous workbook. This is, of course, where we indicate our availability for available shifts during exercises or activations. For the purposes of September's training, I would like each member who is either viewing the training live, or if you're catching the recording at this time, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And please go ahead and indicate in the brand new workbook, default workbook template there, go to the availability tab and let me know if you're attending either the live version or the recording so that I can be aware of that. We have categories for different things. So as you could see, for example, here a little bit further down, for an activation, you would have different operational periods. We could put your name and your availability then for each operational period that would be listed out on here. And of course, these would be tweaked for each specific activation. There's three categories: either yes, that you are available for that particular shift. And so that is going to, if you type yes or a Y into the box or that cell, it's going to turn green. If you're maybe available, you're not 100% sure at this point for that particular shift, go ahead and put an M or a maybe, and that will color that box kind of an orangey color. And then finally, if you are not available for a particular shift, please do indicate that as well by putting an N or a no in that cell, and that will highlight that cell in red, indicating that you are not available for that particular shift. So that's where we're looking. That's what we're looking at here in the availability tab, and this will be used to complete shift assignments by the COVOST manager. So very important here to make sure that you're staying current and signing up for your shifts and indicating your availability, so we can make sure that all of our shifts and things are filled for any particular activation. So moving on from the availability tab to check in and check out. This one, again, is also unchanged from previous versions. Maybe a little bit cleaner. I think it's a little bit nicer interface now. And I cannot stress enough how important this tab is. I mean, indicating availability, that's very helpful, but the check-in, check-out tab, incredibly important. This is really where we show the value of the COVOST. Not only in during an activation, but the hours that we're putting in, the people hours that we are donating, our time, our knowledge, our expertise that we're putting into it, that's what's quantified here in the check-in, check-out tab. So I would like to encourage you all and remind you all to please log your time, whether it's during preparation. I know during our most recent activation for Trump's visit to the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs, many members were active in the days and even hours before our activation. They were doing things, a lot of things behind the scenes. They're populating resources in the workbook. They're putting lists into search columns in TweetDeck. They might be doing geolocation of things. They might be looking for keywords, hashtags, kind of putting those things together ahead of time, kind of behind the scenes, but just making sure that we're up and ready to go for our next activation. So whether you're doing preparation things, whether you're doing time during an activation, so during your scheduled shift, or of course anything post-activation. If you're working on an after-action report, you're working on documentation, you're typing up your shift summary, and you work a little bit past the time that you were on there, please log your hours that you spent doing that. This is truly, again, where we show the value of our team, the amount of time, the commitment that's provided by the COVOST members. So I cannot stress enough how important it is to log your time in here, whether it's preparation during the activation or whether it's afterwards and you're still doing activation related things. Go ahead and log your time in the check-in, check-out tab. I'm going to go ahead now and switch over to the activity log. That's our next tab over to the right. And so in our activity log, right in there, that's where we're looking at putting in any significant activities that are undertaken by either the team leader or VOST team members. So significant activities or actions, for example, this is one that Mickey added in here for today's training, and this is where, for example, she spoke to the lead public information officer or PIO for an updated mission, and that's something that she could have logged in there as our COVOST team manager, and she did not flag that issue for follow-up, and of course, so no resolution was needed. But any significant actions that we're doing, big key developments, things that we're doing of that nature, any major edits perhaps, if we would make edits or changes to information flow, the workbook, whatever it might be, that's where we would log things here in the activity log. So just think about that moving forward. Significant actions and things, key activities, are what's being logged in this activity log tab. So that's a little bit on that. Moving over now to resources and websites. You may notice this is a new tab with a little bit of a new name that actually combined two previous tabs known as official resources and other resources. For some very strange reason, the official resources tab was often ignored and the other resources tab blossomed with information. So what Mickey and I decided was to just say, let's just combine this into resources and websites, put all this info in one place, and help reduce the total number of tabs that we have to manage or worry about. So under key websites and resources here, what we're looking at is adding key or top priority resources to the sheet, and we're grouping similar resource types. So we have mission tools listed at the top. These will be populated for each specific activation based on the platforms and things that we're using, and of course then breaking things out by category. We have social media feeds. Perhaps we have live feeds from mainstream media, so links to, say, a media organization's website. So like say the local NBC, ABC, Fox News, whatever it is, the local affiliates, if they have a live stream from the event, put that on there as well. And of course then breaking it out by social media platform. For example, breaking it out by Facebook, Twitter, other social media feeds, if there's scanner traffic feeds from Broadcastify, perhaps putting that in there. And of course, one caveat that I will throw out there, not so much of a caveat, but just a word of advice, is that you all have full edit privileges in all of our workbooks. So when you go in, if you need to see something that needs to be changed, you need to add a couple of rows because your Twitter lists or your Twitter resources and key websites and things is growing very rapidly, and it's beyond like the 6 lines or 6 rows we have in there. No big deal. Add those extra rows that you need to do. If you are utilizing a different platform, a different social media platform perhaps for search results, if you're logging live streams from say Periscope, for example, or Facebook Live, whatever it might be, go ahead and make those additions as necessary. This is really where we're going to log that content in here, but again, making sure that we're focusing on those key resources, those top priority resources that are going to give us the best information about an incident. So we're going to go ahead and put those things in the Resources and Websites tab. So now there are 2 new tabs on here. We have mission-specific tabs. It used to be search results. These have now been replaced by mission-specific tabs. Specifically, this is because originally in our search results tab, it was really difficult to discern sometimes if we had multiple missions, say for example, monitoring for trends, monitoring for questions, as well as for rumors and misinformation. It was hard to pick out which search results were supporting which mission. So we've decided to break things out now into mission-specific tabs. So for example, here mission 1 would be trends and questions. So here we're monitoring for any trends that are emerging, any questions people are posting. Perhaps that's regarding the incident or whatever it might be. Any concerns people have, and of course speculation and such things. That's where we could log this information here. Again, that format is similar, logging the date and time of that particular post. This is also where we're, you see some things in here. This is where we're logging our search results for this most recent training. Chris has gone ahead and jumped ahead here, so mad props to Tarantino for jumping ahead here. And we'll go ahead and step through how we'd like you to do things with the training here, but just focusing on once we put the information in, we can request an action here to categorize it by either archive, either as an FYI or for your information, and of course escalate if necessary, and we will briefly talk about what may require escalation coming up here in just a couple of minutes. So those are our 3 categories that we can archive, or excuse me, that we can classify things as regarding actions that are requested. The same way I'll go to mission tab number 2. For this case, rumors. Again, these are typical missions that the COVOST will be requested for monitoring for trends and questions, as well as for rumors as well. And this way we can start to keep rumor-specific search results, as well as monitoring, say, for trends and questions search results separate from each other, so that it makes it a little bit easier to go through and look and make sure that we're not having duplicate search entries and other things of that nature. So just things to key in on there. We're no longer search results tabs, but we're logging those search results by mission in our mission-specific tabs. So that's the big change there. I'm going to go ahead and switch now to the Tools tab. Again, moving over on the bottom right. Here are these different sheets in this workbook. The Tools tab, this is listing any free or paid tools that COVOST members have used to monitor and data mine for information. We're not asking you to share your passwords with us or anything. If you have a paid tool that may be proprietary to either you, your business, or other consulting agencies that you may be a part of, but just to let us know what platforms that you're using. And of course, feel free to make edits to this tab or this sheet in here in the workbook, since platforms are growing and dying at a very quick rate in the social media space. And so as new things come up, just let us know what you're using so that we can all be utilizing the latest and greatest tools and techniques for keeping our situational awareness and common operating picture at its to the best of our ability. So Let us know what you're using in there and if it's free or paid. Finally, on the AAR, or After Action Report tab, this one is unchanged from previous, but this is kind of our parking lot, or where we can log our best practices we may have identified during an activation, any lessons learned, those light bulb or aha moments, as well as any items that may need to be addressed or followed up on, perhaps in a future training, perhaps at the next in the next training. We always review these items in the After Action, or AAR tab, to moving forward, and we allow folks who have submitted their thoughts here to expand upon them in the following month's training. And this again is where Mickey and I got most of the ideas for truly crafting and customizing the new COVOST workbook that you see here today, is from your feedback in the After Action Reports tab, or AAR tab. We do read these, we do take them seriously, so please put your feedback in here, whether it's constructive with best practices or lessons learned, or perhaps it's looking at something that we need to address, or perhaps a training topic we may need to revisit as a team. So please go ahead and log those in there, and use that as a parking lot for your thoughts and ideas. So finally, we're going to, in the roster tab, I'm not going to go to it because we don't want to show anyone's information here live on the air, but in that roster tab here, this far one at the far right of our tab list in the bottom of our workbook, we do want to ask each member to please visit that roster tab, double check and make sure that your information in there is correct, because that's how we're going to try and get a hold of you with regard to any trainings and activations and things, making sure that email address is current. If you've shifted jobs, or you've changed email addresses, Twitter handles, whatever it might be, please go ahead and double check that all of your information in there is indeed correct. Cell phone numbers as well, other information there. Please make sure your information in each of those respective columns is indeed complete. So that's a little bit on the COVOST workbook. Again, I don't have time to show everyone everything in here. This is on you, the members, to go through and make sure that we are staying abreast of all the latest changes and all the new format of the workbook, so that we can locate the information that we need very quickly. I'm going to briefly revisit here the mission tabs, and this is due to some feedback that was given in the past couple of activations that the team has had, specifically with regard to the challenge of not overriding or conflicting with others when multiple members are entering information into the workbook simultaneously. So say, for example, we have a very busy shift. We might have anywhere from 3 to perhaps 5 members, sometimes more, which is absolutely incredible, and I love that, but it can sometimes be very challenging to not overwrite each other or conflict with each other when we're putting information into the workbook. So when we're logging these search results in the mission tabs, I have just a couple of suggested best practices from some of the feedback I've seen from other team members, as well as my own experience as well. So the biggest thing would be to look for the color outline boxes in there. So yours may come up as a specific color, red, blue, magenta, whatever color is assigned to you when you log into the workbook, but look for those other colored boxes as well. Those cells that are outlined in a color. That's going to indicate to you that there's another member who may be typing information into that box, or into that cell. So go ahead and skip anywhere from, I'd suggest 1 to 3 rows. So skip down 1 to 3 rows and just start entering your information a little bit further down. Making sure that we're not going to overwrite or conflict with what another one of our partners is putting in there. And just remember, those empty rows, they can always be deleted. We can always remove those extra rows, but we can never get back information that was put in there and then overwritten by someone or another team member. So we do want to be careful about that. We don't want to be overwriting our partners here, our fellow collaborators. So just some suggested best practices there moving forward. And if you have any ideas, any further ideas for that, please do feel free to share those with the group on Slack as well. So now on to the topic of escalation. So that's it for the workbook. I'm going to talk specifically now about a couple of little nuances. One of those is under the actions requested here when we're logging things in. One of those actions is escalate. So that can be a little bit ambiguous, and it can be a little bit subjective based on our personal and professional backgrounds. So I'd just like to clarify, and I talked through this with Mickey a little bit, and we're in fairly good agreement, her and I, that these are some of the things that we may want to say to escalate. So for example, our local point of contact, let me go ahead and switch back to our training agenda here today so we can read along here. So things that require escalation. So our local point of contact, they may identify keywords, topics, hashtags, whatever, that are related to the event and for the team to watch, and they would like perhaps items regarding those specific keywords or topics to be escalated to increase that local agency's situational awareness and common operating picture for that event. Also, we'd like to escalate bad things, whether we're requested to or not. Any threats that are being made, threats of violence, threats of illegal activities, any illegal activities that are ongoing, or any violence or threats thereof, any interference with official agency operations, and also we want to log other negative things such as traffic issues, backups, accidents surrounding our incident or our event site, as well as any protests, rumors, and other misinformation that may be out there that could be potentially damaging or disruptive to that official agency's operations. Finally, any request for assistance, help, if people are injured, requesting assistance, or people that are requesting information related to our event or incident. We want to escalate those things. The bottom line here, don't get so hung up on this criteria. These are just some suggested things. And again, bottom line, if you're unsure, please just escalate it. Don't get hung up on the criteria, because ultimately it's up to the COVOST manager to choose whether or not to escalate that thing that you chose to say escalate. They can choose to pass that on or not to the requesting agency. So kind of one of those better safe than sorry type things, but use your best judgment, use some of these general guidelines here, but again, don't get so hung up on the criteria. And so on the flip side of that, you might say, well, okay, Kyle, what about positive things or good things? Because in the world of social media, there's negative things that we should be watching for, but of course there's positive things as well. One of those, there could be good things, positive things surrounding that agency or the particular event. And if we come across those feel-good messages, those positive or good posts, we do want to log those on the respective mission tabs, and then mark those as either an FYI or an archive, because we will eventually pass those along to our requesting agency, but that may not be something that needs to be, or that likely is not something that needs to be immediately escalated in the heat of that event. So just a way to cover what may require escalation, as well as what about to do about posts about positive or feel-good things here as we move forward. One last thing I'll talk about here, our last topic, is capturing photos and screenshots during activations. So first word there, so this is no more. What I'm saying there is this procedure has changed from the way that I presented it in the August COVOST training. So after talking with Mickey, we decided that we want to truly streamline this process from a multiple step process to something that's very simple, pretty much a two-step process. We want to make this as simple and easy as possible. So the first thing I'm going to briefly talk through here is a procedure for photo capture and screenshot sharing. So on each particular platform, let's start with desktop. So on the desktop, we ask that members will take a screenshot of the content they would like to share, utilizing, say, if you're on Windows, use the snipping tool, which is built in with the operating system, or perhaps a third-party tool that you have. Perhaps if you have a browser add-on, if you're on desktop, say on the Mac platform. There's a keystroke sequence. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I think it's like Command-Shift-4 or something like that. Again, look that up, consult the Google on that one for your specific operating system, but other web browsers have add-ons as well. The one that I use, say in my web browser and Chrome, is Awesome Screenshot, and what that is, it's a browser add-on that allows me to take screenshots of things, either the entire web page or perhaps just a specific part of a web page I want to take a screenshot of. Perhaps if you're on the mobile device, go ahead and take a screenshot of that content by using the keystroke sequence necessary. For example, on the iPhone, pressing the home button and the power button at the same time, we'll take a screenshot, and then either on desktop or on mobile, you can go ahead and then upload that screenshot directly to the activation channel on Slack. So if you're on the desktop, you can either go to covost.slack.com and bring up the web interface, or there are also for the for PC, for Mac, as well as for Chromebook as well, like I'm on here today. There are standalone clients that you can download to work with the Slack platform outside of a web browser. Or on the phone, you can also, or on your smart device, whichever operating system you use there are there's the Slack app that you can download that works exceptionally well on those mobile platforms. So go ahead then and upload those screenshots directly to the activation channel. And perhaps if you don't have a way to screenshot, things aren't working quite right, you can't get into Slack for some reason, whatever it might be, just go ahead and email the direct link to that content, or perhaps just that screenshot to the covost@gmail.com, so COVOST@gmail.com. Email that there, and then maybe jump into Slack if you can, and just in the activation channel say, hey, I can't post a screenshot right now, but I just sent the direct link, or I sent the screenshot to the COVOST Gmail account, and the COVOST manager can grab it from there. So that's how we'd like you to take those screenshots and share them, ideally in the activation channel on Slack. As a backup, you can always shoot the email off to covost@gmail.com. Direct links to that original content, whether it's a tweet, a post, whatever it is, perhaps a web story, a news story from a website, whatever it might be. We want to go ahead then and put those direct links into the respective mission or search results tab there in the workbook. But what we're not doing, this is the big change from the August training, we're no longer posting the links to our screenshots that we're uploading in Slack. So again, streamlining the process, all we're asking you to do, take the screenshot, upload it to the Slack channel, or as a backup to email it to covost@gmail.com, and then just post the direct link to that original content in the workbook under that mission-specific tab. So that's what we're asking you to do as far as screenshots. Again, just a two-step process. Take the screenshot and upload it, and then drop the direct link into the workbook under that respective mission tab. Just as a quick reminder here to folks that may not have done this in a while, for example, in Twitter, I'm going to go ahead and jump into my personal account here. So for example, if we go ahead and mouse over, so you see for a particular post, you have the person's name or that account's name, you have their handle on Twitter, as well as then you see a little timestamp next to it, and what that's showing you is the time that since that post has been, or that tweet has been shared on there. So if you can click on that or right-click on it, which I choose to do, so I right-click, I can say copy link address, and that will copy the direct link to that particular tweet. For some reason that's not coming up on your guys' screens here, so for example, I could also click on that, and it's going to bring up a little splash screen here, and then as you notice up in the URL bar here near the top of the browser, right below my different tabs in my browser, that's going to show the direct link to that particular tweet, and that's going to allow me to copy and paste that, and this is the direct link to that particular tweet. I do not have Facebook up on here right now, but for example on Facebook, on any particular post, you can click the timestamp beneath that the individual's name there on Facebook, and that will then bring up again just that post on Facebook, and that URL bar near the top of the screen will show the direct link to that particular Facebook post. So that's for those two platforms, and then just from there, so you say, okay, well, what happens next? Well, the COVOST manager, they're going to go ahead and download that particular photo and that you upload, and they will share with the local PIO if necessary, if they deem that to be something that they would like to do. And then that COVOST manager will also then archive all those photos that are uploaded into that particular activation photo on our Google Drive. So we're really limiting and streamlining the process for our members during the activation. So for capturing photos and screenshots, take the screenshot of that particular piece or that thing, that photo, whatever it is that you'd like to archive or to escalate. You can go ahead then and drop that right into the activation channel on Slack, and then put the link to that specific post, tweet, web story, whatever it is, right into the workbook in the mission-specific tab that it applies to, and your job is done. So really streamlining that process from previous, and taking and putting some more responsibility on on the COVOST manager here at the end of the day. So that's all for photo and screenshot capture during activations. And so now I'd just like to wrap things up here with a couple of final words, thoughts, takeaways, and reminders for the team. So big thing is, again, please explore the new COVOST default workbook. Become familiar with the new tabs and structure of the workbook. Some things have changed, some things have stayed the same. Just go ahead and be familiar with that, so you know where to find information, and where information should be being logged, and where things should be being entered moving forward. If you have not previously bookmarked the new COVOST default workbook, if you have previously bookmarked the COVOST default workbook, please update your bookmark. I made this mistake a little bit earlier this week. On my own, I had bookmarked the old version, and I was like, wait, where did those new tabs go? So if it doesn't look quite right, please go ahead in your bookmark manager in your respective browser, and go ahead and please go ahead and update that with the new default workbook. And also, if you have not yet completed the August 2016 Slack training, go ahead and take a peek at that. That is available on the Colorado VOST, or Colorado VOST YouTube channel. That's available. That recording is out there. And if you have not completed the August assignment in there, please go ahead and step through that and follow along as well. As a final reminder, we will no longer be using Skype or GroupMe for alerting, messaging, or collaboration between COVOST team members. All these communications and collaborations have moved over to the COVOST Slack channel. And also note that if you are configuring notifications and things, please do not turn off notifications in Slack for the alert-notify channel. That's what we're going to be using as a replacement for GroupMe. And finally, our practical exercise to round out our training here. What I'm asking you all to do for the practical exercise, and this is pretty straightforward to step through here. You can probably crank this out here right before the end of the workday whenever you're viewing this. Go ahead and indicate your availability in the availability tab on the default workbook. If you have not done so already, please do let me know if you are attending the live version here or not. So just to show you here, so if you go into the COVOST, the new default workbook, on the availability tab, just go ahead and put your last name in there, and please let me know if you're attending the live training today, or if you're viewing the recording here later on, just so we can have accountability for who's viewed those different things. Next thing on the list for the practical exercise, please continue to explore the new default workbook, become familiar with it, and then I'm asking for some feedback from you. You can either choose to post this in the training channel. I will also happily take your feedback as a direct message on Slack as well. Please let me know what you think about the new workbook formatting. Do you like the new tab structure, the layout? What do you think about the tab content? If there's things that you'd like to change or see modified, please let me know. This is our workbook, this is the team's workbook, and we want to make this user-friendly and an awesome user experience for everyone. So please go ahead and give me your feedback on that. I do welcome any feedback, positive or constructive. We want to make sure that this workbook is in tip-top shape and is a wonderful tool for all of you to use. Also, in the mission-specific tabs, I briefly mentioned these three different categories we have for actions that are being requested. We have Archive, FYI, and Escalate. Do we need to add or remove categories to better classify things? I'd like to know your feedback on that as well. Are these three okay? Are they not enough? Do we need to maybe go down to 2 categories? Let me know. What are your thoughts on it based on your previous experience working with the COVOST? And of course, finally, we talked about here in the summary tab, down near the bottom, we have for our different resources that are assigned our members for each shift, do we want to have a shift team leader? Do we need one? Do you feel that it would be beneficial, or do you feel it would maybe not be so beneficial? I do welcome your feedback on that. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you think, what your gut feeling is on that, and what you feel either the benefits or drawbacks of having a shift team leader for each individual operational period might be. Finally, we're going to get a little bit hands-on now with it, and in our mission-specific tabs, what I'm going to ask you all to do is to search on Twitter for a current or recent event/incident in your area. So, for example, I've gone ahead and let me get out of this here. So on Twitter, right now, I'm in the Gunnison area, and there's a parade that was going on. I saw that on the way back to my place here, and I was looking and I did some searching and I found a post about it. This guy, Jason Carmichael, posted a Vine video of here on Twitter, and so this is in regard to a recent event that was going on. And so what I'm going to do is, first thing is log the direct link to that tweet. I'm asking you for two. I'm going to show you one here in the workbook. So use the method that you prefer. You can either click on the timestamp and bring it up. I chose to right-click and say copy link address. And then I would go to my COVOST workbook template. I would enter the date, enter the time. I'll put my last name in here to show that I'm entering it. I have that on here as, say, the Gunnison Friday Parade. I can add a little bit more of a description, but just for example, that's what I would put. And I can go ahead and paste the direct link to that tweet in there. If you're on Facebook or if you're on another platform, you would do that. But for the purposes of this exercise, for this September training, I'm asking you to please use Twitter. And then for me, for example, this would just be an FYI, since there was nothing of concern there in that content, nothing I would want to escalate, but just as an FYI in there. And then go ahead and then post, go ahead and go back to that content. Go ahead and take a screenshot of it using the preferred tool that you would use. And then go ahead and this is what the Slack standalone Slack app in the Chromebook looks like. So go ahead onto the training tab, and then you can either just drag and drop that photo in here and upload it, give it a nice little description, as you see Mickey and Chris have done on here already. Or you can go ahead in this little box here down near the bottom. My apologies. Let me go ahead and share this, the correct screen here. Stand by one. Okay, so here's the Slack client that I was talking about here. So in that Slack client, you could go ahead and go to the training tab, and that's where you could either, again, you see Mickey and Chris have uploaded these things. Apologize for not making that switch earlier, folks. Here's where Mickey and Chris have updated their screenshots of their tweets or their images there. And then, again, you can either drag and drop those right here from your desktop browser right in, or you can go down to in this tab, this little message box here at the bottom, this text box, click on the plus. You can say upload a file. That will bring up the file browser on your computer. You can go ahead and do that. If you're doing this on the Twitter mobile interface, just go ahead and take that screenshot, and on your phone using that button press sequence that's necessary, and then go ahead and upload that in the training channel that you find in the Slack app on your machine. So I'll go ahead and switch back to the agenda very briefly here. And then that'll get us back to our content. So switch back to Twitter now. That's going to be our search results here. And then, so go ahead and do that for 2 tweets about a recent event or incident going on in your neck of the woods, whether it's your city, whether it's your the county, perhaps a region of the state, if you have to go that broadly, depending on how active or interactive your area is. And then after that, that's all I'm asking you to do. Just a little bit of feedback, a couple of hands-on things, post a tweet, or excuse me, to take a couple of screenshots, log those 2 direct links to those tweets in the workbook under the mission #1 tab, and we'll go from there. So that's all I'm asking you to do for this month. Just a reminder that the next meeting that we have coming up, October 21st, 2016 at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Look forward to seeing you then for training on verifying and authenticating posts and photos. And I will make one last call here, if anyone has anything they would like to learn about, any topics, ideas, things they would like to have explored in an upcoming COVOST training, please let me know. And of course, if any of you would like to share your ideas, your thoughts, your expertise with us, with the team, in an upcoming training, if there's a topic you'd like to teach on, perhaps something you'd like to collaborate with me on, I'd be happy to go in and collaborate with any of our members here on an upcoming training topic that they'd like to champion. Please let me know. Feel free to shoot me a message on Twitter. If you're connected with me on Facebook, most of you probably have my email, or of course a direct message on Slack will also do. So please let me know about all that. So if there's nothing else here, I haven't seen any messages pop up throughout the training here. So if there's nothing else, thank you all so much for attending today, viewing the recording either live or in person. And thank you so much for all that you do for COVOST. On behalf of Mickey, myself, and your fellow team members, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, we have still one of the model teams for the nation, and I would argue the world here with the Colorado Virtual Operations Support Team. So thanks all for all that you do. Keep up the great work, and just a couple of training topics and things there to look forward to, as well as a couple of assignments here from this month's training. So without any further ado, I'll let you get back to your days, your schedules, and things. So this is Kyle Nelson, the Colorado Virtual Operations Support Team Training Coordinator, signing off. Have a great day, everyone.